of all the questions that I asked Trey about having that NBA talent that you've been able to find over the years.
Yeah.
Guys that have had a ton of success getting there. Just what you can say about your eye and what you've learned over time, because it's not a mistake that you've been doing it a lot.
You know, it's 37 years, right? And I started out in a time when there was no social media. I know that's hard to imagine. And so you really had to go and watch and evaluate. Not that you don't today, but there's so much noise out there. For me, it's not what I hear, it's what I see. So then I think over time you learn to trust your eyes, and then you have to understand, okay, what fits me? What fits the way I coach? And so as an assistant coach, I thought I did a really good job of not recruiting guys that just I thought were good players, but guys that fit my head coach. And so over years and years of doing it, I think I've developed an eye for what I think is best for me. And then having people around me, great coaches, to help develop their skill. And I do think that, you know, the people in the NBA, when they turn on the film and watch our players play, it translates to what they do. Now, that doesn't mean they're always going to be good enough to play at that level, but they have a really good chance, you know, if they come and they work hard and play the way we play.
You said about when you were an assistant coach that you tried to find the right players for your head coach. How does your staff do that for you, and how is it complementary the other way down?
Yeah, I think we talk a lot. We watch a lot of film together. We've been together a long. You got to remember now, BJ has been with me since East Tennessee State. Jason Shea and I have been together since Tennessee, right? We coached together Tennessee, Northwest Florida, East Tennessee State, Wake. You know, Matt Woodley and I have known each other since probably out of high school when he's from Iowa. You know, Nick comes in with an MBA, Nick Friedman with an MBA, and Darnell Harris played for me at Northwest Florida, and then Thomas Kavalauskas played for me at A&M. And so we've been together, we know each other, we communicate, and then, you know, we don't always agree. Like, there'll be some times they'll take me out and show me a player, and I go, I don't like it. You know, but then maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe there's times I show them a player that maybe they don't think is good enough. But I will tell you this, more often than not, and they would tell you this, if in recruiting, if I like them, then it's got a good chance to work because I've got both feet in on it. There's some times that I think if you ask any coach in here, we're not always both feet in on every player. There might be some, you know, some negatives that maybe we do or don't like. For me, if I got both feet in, then it's going to probably be a pretty good situation.
What do you like about your team?
The depth, the length, the competitiveness. We play a lot. We go hard. They play to win. There's not a lot of difference between. There's a lot of competition at the one between Calmise and Akins and Carr. We got three really good wings with experience in Juke Harris, Miles Colvin, and Makai Mason, and Jalen Cross is in there working his tail off. And then, you know, the inside players, you know, Trey Spillers, Cooper Schwieger, Marcus Marion, Omaha Blue. We got a really good mix. And so that part I think is the most exciting thing to me.
Steve, when it comes to Sebastian and Isaac, what have you liked about them since you've gotten on?
I think Sebastian I thought Isaac had about as good a summer as any freshman that I've had, probably because he's in an elite condition. As good a condition maybe as any player I've coached as far as coming into summer, especially his age. Sebastian and Cooper probably improved the most since the beginning of school, okay? And so I like the fact that Sebastian is really good off the dribble and can create his own shot. That's important, right? And he can make open shots. He's got to continue to cut down turnovers and be mindful. Sometimes for scorers, be mindful that, you know, the play's not always for you. It's got to be the shot pass or the kick out. He's getting better at it. Isaac, I just love his size. He's a 6'4", 6'5" freshman. He's in great shape, can defend, elite shooter, elite. And so, you know, he's trying really hard and didn't really come in here probably to play that role. I mean, he can play on or off. He's gonna but I put him on the ball a lot to train him, to make it harder for him. And I think he's done a really good job with that.
The ACC went to a 20 or from 20 games to 18. Can you just talk about your strategy and kind of now scheduling in the non-conference LSU?
Well, I think we just scheduled really hard. You know, we tried to make it. We lost. You know, one of the games we lost was Duke because we usually play them twice, and so we're only playing them once. And so we went out and got a neutral site game with West Virginia and a home with Vanderbilt. Okay, so we got a Big 12 and an SEC team. On top of the fact that we play Michigan, we play Texas Tech, which I think if you check, they're probably both in the top 10 right now. We play the winner loser of Memphis Purdue, and we play Oklahoma. So we're not backing down because we're not going to get to March and somebody say, well, you know, they didn't play tough enough non-league schedule. That's bullshit. This year we played one last year. And we're going to play one this year. So you know, that's kind of was my philosophy on it. Like, just schedule up. You know, 20 league games, you know, historically has not worked for us. If you look at it, I don't know if it's the exact reason, but with the net and with 20 league games, we've gotten less and less and less teams in the league. We still got to win games, no matter what you schedule. But maybe, hopefully, we'll see. The 18 maybe is a better way to go. You know, I was a proponent for it, and we'll see.
Steve, I wanted to ask you about the NCAA is clearing the way for college athletes and employees to bet on pro sports.
Yeah.
I mean, does that worry you, considering all the horror stories you hear about gambling and concerns about sport integrity and all this stuff, or do you care?
I mean, I don't think you can't bet on your own sport though.
Right, it's just pro.
Yeah.
Going to
Talking about
college to pro.
But did you say, is it just employees or is it kids?
And athletes.
Oh yeah.
And
I don't like that.
pros.
I'm not sure I like that. I mean, I'm not a big gambler. Okay, I'm not. I know it's out there. As an adult, I have a hard time. You know, maybe you telling me what I can and can't do as far as, you know, not on my own sport, obviously. You know, like I know I've been to Vegas sometimes in the past recruiting or to a clinic, and you know, somebody say, "Hey, meet me in the sports book." I'm like, can't do it, and I'm serious. And they look at me, I'm like, I can't. Okay, you know, yeah, a lot of it's perception too. Like for young people, I don't know if that's a really good habit to get into. But what is the age where you can? I don't know. I think it would probably be best, it's my opinion, straight off the cuff, for college kids, college athletes, probably not to gamble. And then once they get out, they can be like Cam and go crazy and go ham. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I just, as a parent too, I'd be like,
But considering we've seen the NCAA talk about sports gambling type of investigations that are going
Yes.
on, I mean,
Yeah.
does that worry you as a coach about
Oh, yeah.
going forward, whether it's this team or
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
2 years from now if you've got kids that do it?
oh yeah, I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
I use those as examples. Because listen, you have to understand, and I think you know this, the most negative feedback any player gets is after a loss.
Yep.
Or a win. That's the sad part. Like, I don't care about me. I got big shoulders. But my players getting blasted on social media or DM, whatever you call it, I don't know, that because we didn't cover, right? That's sad. You know, and they've come to me with it before. And that's where if they can gamble or not, I don't think that's going to change, right? It's just something we never had to deal with. You know, there's a lot of things like that, right? That since I started, this year 37 for me, you know, that, but I talk to them about it all the time because it's scary. And then also too, you think about this, on any campus in the country, who are their friends? The students. What are they doing? Gambling. And they don't even know it. Like they could ask one of my players a question about practice, and they wouldn't even know what they're saying. Like, hey, how did Connor practice? Oh, he blew his knee out. You know, bummer for you, Connor. But
Just a flush one.
but I'm just saying, like, you don't know, like, it's information that you really can't share. I tell them all the time, like, you get hurt, you can't go on Instagram and say, oh my God, I blew my, you can't do that. And so it's a different world. Just got to talk about it.
You're just about, when you talk about talking about it, you mean like the whole, everything that goes with the gambling world. That's the kind of, you're talking about everything. That comes
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't put your head in the sand as a head coach, man. You got to talk about real life issues, and so I talked to him about it, a lot about gambling and what that means and how that looks and what could happen, and go rent The Godfather, see what that looks like. Go watch Peaky Blinders, watch Sopranos. Yeah.
Speaking of that, do you think Trey targeted you, or did he just get lucky with a shot?
Oh, he targeted me. It's like, there's payback in that. Don't worry. I got the whistle. I mean, I had so many welts on me. Look, I played that before with him, but this one was a little more up close and personal. I got dinged the first time. I was like, "Oh,
Where'd he get you?"
Got me in my thigh, and I didn't see him. He just, they're like machine guns. They're just coming out. Boy, he felt. It's a good thing you wear those goggles. You wouldn't have an eye. Like you shoot your eye out. Yeah, that would have been definitely that deal. But it was fun. It was hot. God, it was hot. But we had a good time.
Steve, how do you feel about coaches' challenges coming to college basketball?
Yeah, I got to learn. I got to study that harder. I was just in Indy, for these meetings, and the referees are in there with us, going over it, talking about it. I think there's probably a strategy to it as far as when you do it, how you do it. But you still got to have a timeout too, or you lose your timeout. That's a little scary. I think having Nick will help because Nick's done it, in the G League and in the NBA. Yeah, I mean, it's a little more pressure for the coach probably, right? Oh, because there'll be more second guessing of if you did or didn't win the challenge, or did you challenge that and didn't challenge that? Why? I can't tell you how many times I've turned. I will tell you this in the game, and we all know who the video coordinator is at my school. That'd be my child. And I've turned around and said, "Was that a foul?" And he'll be like, "Yeah, it was a foul." Yeah. And I'm mad, and I go home and watch. I go, "That's not a foul," So like, I gotta watch that too. I've done that so many times, and you get mad at him the next day, like, "That wasn't a foul," And so, no, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Do you have someone like pinpoint to like? Would you essentially hire someone? I know he's the video coordinator, but would you tell him, hey, with this new strategy?
Oh yeah.
Do you you sitting there on the iPad the
Yeah.
whole time?
Well, he
just
is.
saying,
He
okay.
is on the.
Yeah.
He codes the game live, the entire game, all game long. So that's what he does. And so now, as far as having the iPad, that'll probably be between him and Nick or whoever has it, or Coach Shea, maybe somebody behind the bench. That's something that that's the hard thing about. Like right now, we've had 50 some practices, haven't played anybody, and you can't even. How do you use that? How do you practice that? Maybe. Good point. Maybe we'll just do that in practice someday.
I mean, it's a strange thing because we just learned about it too.
Yeah.
You get one, and if you burn it, it's gone.
It's gone.
So you save it for, I would imagine,
Maybe.
the final couple minutes.
You could, but if you win it, you don't burn it.
Yeah, well, that's why you got to have a
So it's
good.
gotta be
you gotta
ob-
have a good scouter.
Well, it's got to be obvious.
Yeah.
It's something that you feel like we need to argue at this point in the game that affects the game. Yeah.
And you still can the out of bounds plays in the last 2 minutes are still the same way they used to be, right?
No.
Oh, it's not.
No, you got to challenge it.
Okay.
If not, they're not going to go look. They're not going to be all this all the time. Yeah, which drives Connor crazy. Just look at social media.
How do you feel about the tournament going 76-team potentially next year?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'm going to take a little time to answer that if you don't mind. I'm on the men's basketball oversight committee, so whatever. I just came from Indy last night. If there's going to be a change in the tournament, our committee will be the first one to vote on it. Okay, and then if we vote on it and approve it, then it goes to the administrative committee. Okay, so there's all this swirl out here about this and that, about what it's going to look like, when I just came from there and didn't see one proposed. So I don't know what these people are talking about. Okay, but now, is it under consideration? For sure. Okay, and the smartest guy in the room is doing it, Dan Gavin and his committee. They're sitting there with me the other day. Now, if they can come up with a plan that makes sense financially and logistically, they're going to do it. And as long as the tournament looks the same as it looks on Thursday and Friday, okay? Now, I believe that if he puts that in front of us, then they've done their work, and I'm going to vote for it because I'm for it. And it's not because what you probably all think here.
Every coach has told me, I've asked this, they're all for it.
Okay, but people are going to say, oh, Wake Forest is for it because they've been on the bubble. 1,000% wrong. I'm going to tell you why I'm for it, and I'm very passionate about this. And this is why I'm I don't understand the kickback from certain people. Have you ever seen the joy on a kid's face on Selection Sunday? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Videos, yeah.
It's a shining moment, right? Do you know what it's like for those kids to go to open practice the day before the game and go to the media before the day before the game? You never forget it, right? So who in their right mind would want to deny 40 or 50 kids that opportunity? Because that's all it is.
I hear you, but I would also say, like, at what point would you say your product has too much? You know what I mean?
Okay, let me ask you a question. You think people aren't going to watch it?
But I mean,
Okay.
For me, I'd watch 1,000,000 games. So,
They're
I
gonna,
mean, but
okay, well, let me ask you this. Are they going to gamble on it?
yes.
Yes, they are. And so my point, what are we hurting? When the tournament is going to look the same at the first
you could
weekend.
devalue what the tournament is potentially, and I don't know what that number is.
I don't think you can devalue the tournament when the tournament is about the players. And the players are getting the joy out of being in it. To me, that's what that expansion is. To me, okay, I'm talking about me.
But you don't think there's a certain number, like when they said 96? They
Oh,
said,
no, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're talking about, I don't know, because I haven't seen it, but I would say 72, 76 is probably where it's going to be. But then, okay, go back to the dark ages. How many did it start out with?
Yeah.
16.
Okay, then what? 32? Then what? 48? 42? I mean, we've all been there. Okay.
But wouldn't that potentially damage the regular season some?
What 70?
I mean, I guess TV ratings and with you know. We got teams all over the entire country in the same conference these days.
Oh, I think we're fighting for eyeballs.
Yeah.
No question. Yeah. I think there's other ways to fix that besides the tournament. I'm not worried about that with the tournament. I don't think the tournament's ever going to lose its viewership because it's a one and done deal. It's different than anything else, right? You don't play well, you go home. You know, and so I leave that up to those guys. Look. Dan Gavitt is the best. Like I've been around him now for 2 years on this committee. He's brilliant, and he loves college basketball, and he's not going to do anything to damage that tournament, the integrity of that tournament. I promise you that. And so, if something comes from that committee that they want us to act on, I can promise you that it'll have all those things in mind of what you talked about. I really truly believe that.
Coach, you talk about being consistent. How do you get away from you guys to the proper distance?
Yeah, you know what? I take full responsibility for, we've had some late season losses that just killed us, right? Probably 3 of the last 4 years, right? And so we've got to find a way to not have those kind of damaging losses when you're on the cut line, right? And so you don't have a lot of wiggle room. And so we've had some of those. So I do think depth is going to help us. Like, I do think we've rode the horse a little long on some great players that they got tired, right? And so, I mean, I think we've scheduled right. We've got depth. Now I got to go win, right? And you can't. And if you're on that, look, if you're in there deep in the tournament, if you're already a 5, 4, 5, 6 seed, doesn't matter late. But when you're on the bubble, those things are killers, and then it creates pressure. And I've tried to really take the pressure off the players on that. You know what I mean? Because they're feeling it, right? Got to win this game. Got to win that game. It's like it starts like in the end of January. It's like, so you try to minimize that with them the best that you can, but. I think that's the way. It's just schedule right, have depth, and go win. And I think our league's better. Look, I love our league. If we're going to be full disclosure here, do you think the league's really done us a lot of favors? Well, we've won 13 league games twice, and not got in. We've never had a losing record in the league. I do think the league's a lot better this year, top to bottom. And so I think we have some of the best young coaches in all of college basketball. And our league went through a change that every league's going to go through here pretty soon. This happened to be when I came in the league. Now I'm one of the old heads. I was a young guy, keep your mouth shut, to the guy now that talks too much. Right? So,
That's nothing new, though.
no. Yeah, it was. When I first came in, and it was Kay.
No, I'm
Roy.
talking about talking too much.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking at all with them. I keep my mouth shut. Anyway, go ahead.
Just so you brought in Sebastian Akins,
Yeah.
coordinator from around here, the
Yeah.
One Academy. See from him.
I mean, I think that he has shown the most improvement, him and Cooper Schwieger, of our team since we got back from summer school. So when we started in the fall, when school started to now, him and Cooper probably showed the most improvement. He's very dynamic with the ball. He can score. He's a willing passer. He's got to probably see it a little bit more because he is a scorer. He's got good physical size. He's got to continue to do a great job of running the team, right? And but he's played himself into playing time, and so we'll see how that goes, as we start. But I'm happy for him.
You talked about depth. I've heard the term athleticism. Did you not really compare and contrast, but I mean, are you deeper and more athletic than maybe some other previous years that you've been head coach?
Yeah, I think this is more like ETSU for me. It's just we just were able to go out and look. Recruiting and signing depth is not easy for a couple reasons. One, everybody wants to play, right? Especially a transfer. Two is is money. Like you have a budget of what you have. So how do you get a team? Well, you gotta get what you think might be your starters. You gotta pay your returners, and then what do you have left to go get depth? And a lot of times you just don't have a lot left. And so, we've just been really wise with how we spend our money, and I believe this is the deepest team. Now, they got to take it from today, and when the lights come on, we got to do it. But some of that too is how we're going to play, and when you're playing with the pace that we're going to play with, and play the way we play, then they can't play that many minutes anyway because they're going to be tired. But look, when you have 100 Salas, it's hard to take them off the court. Why would you do that? Okay, you look down the bench, you think, "There's my option. This is my option. This is the better option," because there's major separation. I just don't think there's all that much separation between the guys we got. A lot of coaches will say, "Well, that sucks. That's bad." I don't think so. I think they're all talented, and so we go in numbers and we play. Teal?
NCAA tournament expansion.
I already talked about it.
All right, I missed it. Say it again.
Well, I'm on the committee, the oversight committee. So the first,
That's what you were yesterday.
yeah, Monday and Tuesday, Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday. Look, it's pretty simple. If there's a proposal, it goes in front of our committee. There hasn't been one. Okay, they're working on one, and I believe that. Dan Gavitt is the smartest guy in the world to do that. And so they're working on something that can work financially and logistically, okay? If they can get to that point, then they'll put a proposal in front of us. And then if we approve of the proposal, then it goes to the administrative committee, and then it's voted in. Is there a time? Obviously, there's a time constraint on this thing based on, the tournament coming up the following year, to get it done. I do believe they're looking hard at it, but they're not going to do anything that they can't do financially, logistically, with all the planes you would need. Think about it. Got more teams, more planes. And the integrity of the tournament. That's the most important to him, too, and to all of us. Now, personally, I'm for it. And it's not because of what most people will say, well, you have been on the bubble, but you'd be in. No. I know what it looks like. I know what those players' faces look like on Selection Sunday. I know how excited they are to go to the open practice in the media. And if you can give 40 or 50, 60 kids that opportunity, why would you take that away from them? For what? What does it matter? The tournament's a tournament. When it gets to Thursday, Friday, it's the same tournament. So people are going to watch it. I told them, I ain't afraid to say it, but we're going to gamble. We're going to do whatever. We're not going to, we're not going to watch it. Come on, we know better than that. And so, I mean, you know, I know there's been some reports out there about things. I don't know where that's coming from because I've never seen a report, and I'm sitting on the committee. You know, so if it happens, then we'll vote on it. But right now, you know, they're working hard behind the scenes to see if that can work. But Dan Gavin's not going to bring something to us that he doesn't think is a viable option. I believe that. Yeah.
Everyone all good?
Hey, Steve, do you still have a relationship? You still keep in touch with Nick Nurse?
Yeah, all the time.
So,
I just played his golf tournament.
Okay, so Dave Solomon and I are working on a book.
Yeah.
On American players playing overseas.
Okay.
Stories and everything.
Yeah.
And we would like to get in touch with Nick.
Yeah.
Do you have contact information that you
Yeah.
can pass along, or actually, or let him know that we're?
I'll call him and
Yeah.
tell him.
I'll text you.
Yeah. I've been friends with him. I mean, I just played in his golf tournament in August with him.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why I figured I'd ask. But yeah, we're looking for name recognition, and he's
Yeah.
definitely a name. So appreciate it. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, sure. You want me to drink a beer? Or?
All right, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Connor, I didn't mean to blow your knee out.
He just twisted it. It wasn't a tear.